What is your reaction to Powell telling Congress rates will likely go higher? Start us off, CJ.
Yeah, I feel like, half the real estate industry is living in some sort of like bubble or fantasy land, perhaps. Or maybe we're all like influencers and nobody wants to just be realistic. Look, I mean, we're not hearing or seeing anything new that he said. I mean, they've been saying for almost a year now that they will not stop raising rates until government goals are achieved. They've intentionally not marked us in a recession, although we are and have been in a recession, in my opinion. The rule has been bended, so to speak, because you don't want utter chaos that they are actually creating themselves. So, I mean, look, what is the effect of it? I think it's the same effect that it's already had. I think there's going to be continued compression on the market. I know that the market is, mostly solid in many areas right now, but we're seeing drastic job loss across the market right now from Fortune 500 companies. Eventually, that's going to start trickling down to small business owners, small companies, and people that work at these small businesses, which make up the majority of America. So I think everybody should be proceeding with a little bit of caution. I think it can be bullish and cautious at the same time. But look, I don't think anything new has even, really been said.
Dang. All right, Steve, what are your thoughts?
I'm totally bummed. It's the Fed's message has been pretty consistent. We will continue to raise rates until people suffer. And there's no one taking that message seriously. And the longer we prolong this, the more the suffering will be, right? Like, there was already going to be some sort of suffering, but the more we drag it out, the more we fight this, the more suffering is going to be, and it sucks. So for me, my heart goes out to everyone that's going to have to pay the price for this, right? They won't stop until there's more job loss. And because we're holding on, there's going to be an even bigger job loss at the end, because the time that we respond is going to be from the last rate hike, right? This whole response is going to be, I think it's going to be a bloodshed. And the longer this goes on, the more concerned I am for 2024 and 2025. Right?
Yeah,
That is how I feel about all this. So
no, it's the truth, man. It's going to be brutal, man.
All right, Jimmy, what are your thoughts on General Powell over there at the Fed right now?
I kind of got two reactions. Part of me doesn't really care. They've been saying they're doing it. My big concern is that the Fed has one blunt tool to affect the economy whatsoever, and that the fact that they're using the unemployment, I think the unemployment rate is calculated in a horrible manner. They're not calculating enough how many people are leaving the workforce. I was listening to Dan Crenshaw's podcast last night, and in 24 states, the median income is the same as welfare. So there's no motivation to go to work. So I think the unemployment rate they're looking at to make their decisions is a skewed number. So many people have left the workforce that the unemployment rate's completely inaccurate. And then that's what they're using to say, hey, am I going to raise the rates, not raise the rates? Now, that being said, them raising the rates, I don't really care. Real estate's always the best show in town. And if a deal is a deal is a deal, regardless of the interest rate. If your plan is to own a business only in a low interest rate environment, you're in a bad spot. If your plan is to be an investor only in a low interest rate environment, you're in a bad spot. So right now, a deal is a deal. So like I said, I'm kind of a little annoyed, kind of don't care.
All right. Like the insight there, especially the welfare check. All right, next up.
Well, I'm just trying to do the Leon Barnes thing and be informed, because that's how you win.
I love it. I love that you brought your Cliff Notes with you. All right, RJ, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm going to be quick since everyone else took 4.5 minutes to answer.
Ding. Next.
It says, what is your reaction? So when I was thinking about this, I had a random thought while I was using the restroom. And it was, why is the Michelin tire man white? Tires are black. And then I looked it up, and tires were actually white all the way up until 1912. And then they became black, and the Michelin tire man was already there.
They had to put some
Federal
style on it.
Reserve started in 1913. I don't know how those two coincide, but I'm like Steve. I don't like it, and that's my answer.